Happy Birthday Babies Part 2 is the 10th episode of the 5th season of Full House. This is directed by Zwick, and as always there will be spoilers from now as I talk about the episode and share some thoughts. And it's not my favourite episode. I just don't find the subject matter to be that interesting, but I will say credit to the episode. This is of course the episode where the twins are born, and that is a concept I'm not that bothered about. There are plenty of sitcom episodes where one of the main characters goes into labour, and sometimes they can just drag on, and it gets really boring. But credit to this episode, that part of it is actually pretty quick. It's over very quickly. So I absolutely don't mind that. It's not something I particularly find that funny, I guess, but they managed to get enough out of it. It actually starts off with DJ dressed as Wilma Flintstone, because it's Michelle's birthday party. All of the kids are there. Joey and Steph are dressed as Barney and Betty Rubble. And then Danny is dressed as Dino, which I thought was fabulous. And Michelle is dressed as Pebbles, with Comet as her Stegosaurus. And Jesse is dressed as Fred, and he's upstairs. He's about to come down to the party, and Becky reveals that the twins are on their way. So, of course, they have to rush off to the hospital. Everybody's rushing out. It's a mad panic. And they kind of left Michelle and the rest of the young children on their own, which is not great, but they did exactly what I would have expected, and I have to say it's a delightful scene. But what I really like about this is just the idea. I think it really says a lot for their talents and their confidence, particularly Mary-Kate and Ashley, and also Tahj Mowry, who is, of course, Teddy. But when the adults leave, it's obviously just the children on set, on their own, with however many adults in the room pointing cameras at them. And the fact that mostly Michelle and a little bit of Teddy are able to just continue with the scene, carry on the scene, being solely the focus of attention, I just think it is really great. For me, thinking back to myself at that age, that would have terrified me. Absolutely would have terrified me. And I just think they did such a really brilliant job with it. And as I said, they did exactly what I thought they would have done. They stuck their hands in the cake, and it was delightful. And then Joey comes back in soon after. They're on their own for maybe 2 minutes at the most, and then Joey comes back in. We're then at the hospital. Jesse's still dressed as Fred. Jesse then had to go and get his appendix out, which it just seemed really pointless. It just didn't seem very necessary at all. And I know it's not fair to compare this to another TV show, particularly a TV show that came after this, but it very much reminded me, well, how do I say this without spoilers? In Friends, there is an episode where somebody is in labour and somebody else, one of the other friends, also has to have a procedure at the same time because they thought it was sympathy pains and it's not. And for me, that was very well handled. And that was quite interesting. But with this one, it just felt underdone. It wasn't very well developed. It felt a bit pointless. I think they only did it so that Jesse could be high on anesthesia, which, honestly, I didn't find that funny. I didn't really care for it at all. So that part of it just didn't seem very well written. And the whole broadcasting in on Wake Up San Francisco, which Becky decided against at the last minute, which seems like a wise decision. Again, that just seemed a little bit pointless. So for me, those parts of the episode just weren't very interesting at all. But then, as I said, they didn't drag it out for too long, and we get the birth of the twins, of Alex and Nikki. And I'm not actually sure who plays Alex and Nikki in this particular episode. I don't know who the babies are in this episode. I'm not 100% sure if they remain the same babies throughout or if they ever had a cast change. I'm not sure. But they're rather cute. They are adorable. And obviously, 2 new cast members, things are going to change a little bit. And I do think they are very cute characters, but we'll talk more about them as the seasons go on, of course. Happy Birthday Babies Part 2 is definitely not a bad episode. I will say, though, I don't love the fact they share a birthday with Michelle. Michelle seems cool about it. Michelle's quite happy that the babies were born on her special day. It's like a birthday present for Michelle, so that's good. I'm glad she was happy about it. But personally, again, it's just something that felt unnecessary. And if anything else, I think personally, I would have preferred it, and of course, all that matters is what Michelle thinks, but I would have preferred it if Michelle's birthday had been maybe next week, but they were having the party early because of timetables or something. I think that would have been a little bit better. Or maybe the babies were due on her birthday. And so they had the party early to avoid this very thing happening. And then Becky went into labour early. So that would have been better for me, because I just don't like the fact they have the same birthday as Michelle. It just seems a little bit unnecessary. But nevertheless, I seem to be doing a lot of complaining about the episode, but it is good. I did like it. I thought it was very well done, and definitely some places more than others. The whole Danny rocking up to the hospital dressed as Dino, I did like. I did find that to be very cheesy and very effective. And ultimately, although it's not a personal favourite episode, I still think Happy Birthday Babies Part 2 is not too bad.